Today I'm going to share with you 7 business ideas that target the African diaspora. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Bridget Went. If we're meeting for the first time, you are most welcome. And if you're coming back, then welcome back. First of all, let me say thank you to those who've joined our little community recently. If you found me because of the building project I'm doing in Zambia, or through my music, or any other way that made you stumble on this channel, you are most welcome. Let me tell you a little bit more about why I am covering this topic. I was born and raised in Zambia, Africa, and I moved to the United States over 20 years ago. And I've been here since then, except for a 7-year gap when I went back with my family to live in Zambia. So I am part of the diaspora, the African diaspora community. So the main reason I started this channel is for information sharing. I am a strong believer in sharing information to make other people's lives easier or better. The main umbrella for this channel is wealth building. That is the information I share. So sometimes you will see me share about my entrepreneurship journey. Sometimes I will share about my building journey. And also I love to share about living a balanced life. So you will find some topics that are more inspirational. And of course, there is my music since I'm a singer. Today is an entrepreneurship day. That's why I've decided to share these 7 business ideas. Now, let's go back a little bit and let me define what I mean by wealth building. Wealth building means different things to different people. I define wealth building as the process of generating and maintaining long-term income through multiple sources. This includes your savings and any assets that generate income, such as your investments. So that is how I define wealth building. So under that main umbrella, you find entrepreneurship, real estate development, and spiritual wellness. A successful business addresses pain points and provides solutions for a large sector of society. I am an African living in the diaspora, as I've already explained, and therefore I represent so many of my brothers and sisters who are living in the diaspora. And the business ideas that I'm going to share with you today address some of our pain points. You can take these ideas, tweak them, and develop a business that could be thriving while serving the diaspora community. The African diaspora brings in massive amounts of funds into Africa every single year. According to the African Union, the African diaspora comprises people of African origin living outside the continent, regardless of nationality or citizenship, ready to contribute to the continent's development. For the sake of this video, that's how we will define the African diaspora. Did you know that the African diaspora is so extensive and so influential that the African Union officially designated it as the continent's 6th region? This is in addition to East, West, North, South, and Central Africa. The African diaspora sends over 80 billion with a B US dollars and social remittances in business, industry, academia, and other sectors. I believe every country in Africa has a diaspora policy. So if you're interested in knowing this, find out what your country's diaspora policy is. You will find that they hold in high esteem the contributions of Africans in the diaspora. As for Zambia, my home country, I know for sure that they have a diaspora policy. Here are just a few of these highlights from that policy. The vision is for a Zambian diaspora that is protected, engaged, and participates as an active and reliable partner in the socio-economic development of the country. So basically, the Zambian diaspora policy is based on the realization that we who are in the diaspora have an enormous potential to contribute positively to the country's development. So with that background, let me share with you 7 business ideas that address the pain points of the African diaspora. You can make a profit from these businesses if you establish them really well, at the same time serve the Zambian diaspora. Business idea number 1 is short-term rental accommodation. Now, when many of us visit our home countries, we want to participate in everything that's going on in the communities that we miss so much. But accommodation can be an issue. Hotels are generally very expensive, and not everybody has relatives that they can stay with. And sometimes you are coming with the whole family, and staying with other people can be a huge inconvenience. For example, if you are already in the rental business and you rent out your home for long term, let's say a year to 2 years, you can literally pivot and address this pain point and make more money than you would from a long-term rental unit. So affordable housing with basic amenities like running hot water and Wi-Fi would be such a great business idea. So if you haven't thought about this, you have rental units that are available, pivot towards doing a short-term rental for those people that come for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or even a couple of months. This would be a business that would thrive if you haven't considered it already. Business idea number 2 is in transportation. When we arrive in the country, wherever we're going in Africa, we in the diaspora need transportation. So if you establish a car hire that targets the diaspora and advertise it as such, you will have a lot of business. If you have a car that you normally don't use on a daily basis, you can designate that car to be available for people who are coming in from the diaspora. You can either provide a driver or you can allow them to self-drive. Of course, the fees can vary depending on whether you're providing a driver or not. Now, there are many car hires in Zambia, for example, and the last time I was in Zambia, I looked at those car hires. They were extremely expensive because most of them are targeting tourists. There's a difference between an African who is living in the diaspora, who is coming back, and a tourist who is coming for, let's say, a week. When you are in the country for 1 month, and you have to spend thousands of dollars on transportation, that makes it very limited. But for you who are in the country, you can target us who are coming into the country for 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Serve us in such a way that you can make a profit, but make it affordable for us as well. There's a way you can do this business. So that was business number 2, transportation. Business number 3 is a big one, and this is in the construction industry. Listen, we all want to build back home, but there have been so many horror stories of how people have been scammed out of significant amounts of money because we are all trying to do this remotely. If we had more construction companies that have a department that targets and serves the diaspora community with efficiency, excellency, and transparency, we would be doing so much better right now. This is not something you have to start from scratch. If you are already in the construction industry, I am calling on bricklayers, roofers, and all those people that are involved in building houses. How about you gather yourselves and create a business that targets people in the diaspora? However, you have to commit to being transparent, efficient, and extremely reliable. This is where most of our investments for us living in the diaspora are falling apart, especially in the real estate industry. We want to contribute to the growth of Zambia. We want to contribute to the growth of Africa. Many of us lack the ability to uproot for 3 months, 6 months, or even a year to come and establish a building project. So if you are able to establish this business where we can entrust you with our funds, knowing that you will establish the vision that we have, then you can have our money. However, you have to produce what we are looking for. A little bit of research tells me that there are a few companies in Zambia that are already doing this. So if you are in the diaspora and you've worked with such a company, please leave in the comments what that company is, and I would personally love to talk to somebody who is already serving the diaspora community in this way. Business number 4 is real estate management. Again, many of us have a vision and desire to build, but once we build, we need somebody to manage those buildings. Let's say I decided to build an office unit building in Lusaka. It's well established and it's ready to go. Beyond that, when I come back to the States, I need to find somebody who can manage that business investment for me. This is a business investment. So in other words, I want to make sure that I get some profits and returns out of that. Again, this is a huge pain point for people in the diaspora. Finding somebody who can handle your money with transparency, efficiency, and reliability, it's a huge problem. So we need people that can manage the real estate that we establish. So if you have some experience in managing people's real estate investments, or you've managed your own in an efficient way, why not create a business that targets people in the diaspora like me, so that you can offer us the services that we so desperately need. Business idea number 5 is diaspora reintegration. Many of us that live overseas don't want to stay here. Okay? And some of us come here for jobs and eventually you go back home. Now, when you've been living away for 20, 30, 40 years at a time and you come back to Africa, you need to be reintegrated back into the community. Many of you that haven't lived far away from home may not understand this, but even just the 2-year gaps that I've had when I've gone back home, it just seems like everything has moved on. And some people do not have close relatives that can help them to reintegrate back into society. So some of the things that a diaspora reintegration business would be able to do is provide companionship, provide cultural updates, provide general current perspective, simple things like where to shop for different things, which doctor to call. In other words, you can establish a one-stop diaspora integration business. Business number 6, an assisted living village for older returnees. Now, let me explain myself. There are people that have been living here for over 50 years. And like I said previously, not everybody wants to die here. Some older Africans want to go back home. They may not want to build like the younger ones would. I'm not trying to say we bring nursing homes like we have here in the US. Many elderly people feel like they've been thrown away. A culturally appropriate establishment where people who are older can go back to and feel like they're part of a community that loves them and cares for them. So come up with a culturally appropriate business model that doesn't throw away the elderly, but bears in mind that all returnees have close families. A community that is pro-elderly with nurses and doctors on call maybe. I'm just throwing out ideas out there. I think there's something to this because just from listening to other people in the diaspora, this is a genuine need. And somebody who has the compassion and the empathy to be able to establish such a business so that it's a thriving community would be able to establish a profitable business. Business number 7. You can start a business that promotes knowledge and skills transfer from Zambians that are returning from the diaspora or who are still in the diaspora and are willing to share information. People in the diaspora are some of the most highly educated people. Many came here to study and they've learned so many skills that they can share with the younger generation. This business idea can harness the power of their education and experience by creating an environment where they can easily share their expertise and skills. This can be in all areas of life. It can be IT, it can be medical, it can be in so many areas of education. And with today's technology, you don't even have to wait for them to come to the country to be there to teach anybody. You can connect with so many in the diaspora remotely, and they would be glad to share this information with you and with your target audience. Of course, you have to make it worth their while. In some cases, if you set up this business correctly, you would be making a profit and also meeting one of the pain points of the people in the diaspora. And what's the pain point here? It's just finding an easy way to share information so that it's not so complicated. And if you've already established and put systems in place where many of us can easily contribute to knowledge and skill sharing, it just makes it easier for all of us to participate. So the diaspora is an integral part of the African community. Please don't handle us the way you handle tourists. Diasporans are Africans just like you, and we want to participate in the development of Africa. And these business ideas that I've shared with you will bring you a profit while addressing the main diaspora pain points. I hope this information has been helpful to you. If it has, please leave me a comment and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like. Until next time, I will see you soon. God bless and bye-bye.